Ravishing embers danced against a sky black as broken dreams, casting long, shifting shadows across the cavernous pits. Red Hulk's monstrous form, veins swollen with fury, stood astride a jagged precipice. His eyes glowed ember red, smoldering with rancor as the air itself quivered under his aura of wrath. In his grip, the chained form of Ghost Rider writhed, his body crackling with hellfire yet bound by occult steel links that sizzled from contact. Behind them, the gates to hell yawned, towers of blackened metal, writhing gargoyles, and molten veins coursing like rivers of blood through stone. The air was thick with sulfur and screams, souls long lost writhing in eternal despair. The heat was suffocating, each breath tasted of brimstone. It was a realm beyond redemption. Red Hulk's voice, a guttural thunder, echoed across the abyss. You thought you could escape judgment, spirit of vengeance? Here, I claim what is mine. Ghost Rider, his skull aflame, hissed through clenched teeth, you defile what you cannot comprehend. I will break free. But the chains held firm, glowing with runes of binding, each link feeding off Ghost Rider's hellish energies. As they advanced, grotesque forms emerged from the darkness, wailing specters, horned demons, skeletal beasts. Their shadows flickered across the walls, eyes aglow. They recoiled at Red Hulk's presence but licked at Ghost Rider's heels, eager to tear at flesh or spirit. Red Hulk leaned forward, dragging his captive across jagged basalt, each footstep forcing crackling fractures in the floor. Within this infernal realm, law was violence, and judgment was blood. Red Hulk intended to remake the Underworld in his image. But Ghost Rider, despite the chains, glowed with defiance. The first tremors of conflict weighed in the air, cinders falling, shrieks in the distance, a promise of war. At the threshold of those gates, the second act awaited. The judgment would no longer be whispered, it would be wrought in flame and bone. The gates loomed before them, titanic, wrought from obsidian and molten steel, etched with runes that pulse like living veins. As Red Hulk dragged Ghost Rider forward, the gates began to rumble, reacting to their presence. With a deafening roar, molten seething cracks split the stone, as if the gates themselves sensed the war about to erupt. Ghost Rider, though bound, gathered his flickering hellfire, the blaze licking along his bones. He slammed his chained fists against the rocky ground, sending shockwaves of heat. The ground cracked, lava welled. I will not bow, he thundered. Red Hulk let loose a roar of dominance, tossing Ghost Rider aside. The chains recoiled, but did not shatter. Ghost Rider skidded, then sprang up, hellfire flaring. He unleashed a searing blast toward Red Hulk, a wave of blazing light that scorched rock and ashes alike. Red Hulk raised his massive arm, halting the wave halfway. The air rippled with heat, stone vaporizing. They charged. The first collisions were cataclysmic, fist to skeletal ribs, flame to flesh, vibrations shaking the very foundations of hell. Every punch left gouges, every impact echoing in cavernous halls. Demonic spectators recoiled, chanting in tongues unknown. Mid-battle, Ghost Rider invoked the penance oath, a tormenting blaze that forced Red Hulk's memories, pain, loss, fury. Spectral chains reached into Hulk's mind, visions of past betrayals, anguish, vengeance sought but never satisfied. Red Hulk staggered. Seizing the moment, Ghost Rider lunged with a hellfire chain, wrapping around Red Hulk's arm, pulling him close. Sparks and blood mingled. Red Hulk countered, tearing a fragment of basalt from the ground and thrusting it forward, shattering the chain. Ghost Rider rolled aside, embers trailing, then launched himself upward along a molten wall. Red Hulk bellowed, smashing the wall with a thunderous hand, collapsing rock and flame onto Ghost. But Ghost Rider, in a blur, phased through debris, re-emerging behind Red Hulk. He struck him in the spine, sending a wave of hellfire pain coursing. Red Hulk, enraged anew, swept his arm in a massive arc, sending Ghost Rider flying across the chamber. The walls cracked, molten rivers shifted. The battle had only escalated. Atop shattered pillars, they glared across smoke and embers. Ghost Rider's voice, low but fierce, this is not over. Red Hulk's answer was a roar that shook the gates. After their fierce confrontation at the gates, Red Hulk surged forward, intent on dragging Ghost Rider beyond into deeper hellfire veins. The floor split open, revealing rivers of viscous blood lava pulsing crimson and black. The noxious fumes rose, cloaking their forms, painting both combatants in crimson haze. Ghost Rider, limping but undeterred, unleashed shards of Hellsteel, launching them like daggers. Red Hulk deflected some with his bare fists, but a few struck flesh, smoking and sizzling. He advanced relentlessly, pulling Ghost Rider by the chain again. Ghost's flames flickered, fighting the drag. They descended narrow catacombs carved from bones and volcanic rock. The walls, alive with screeching faces, seemed to close in. As Ghost Rider passed, anguished wails clawed at his senses, souls begging mercy, souls cursing fate. This was his domain, he had heard them before. But now, they echoed his defiance. In a cavern bathed in sanguine glow, Red Hulk halted, planting his feet in the blood river. He roared, stamping the river's surface. Waves of fetid splashing blood surged forward. Ghost Rider leapt over the tide, but fingers of the river reached up like serpents, trying to ensnare him. He ignited flames beneath him, keeping distance. Suddenly, monstrous forms, blood wraiths, rose from the river, shaped from tortured souls suspended in crimson sludge. They swirled, claws outstretched, lunging at Ghost Rider. Red Hulk laughed, enjoying the spectacle. "My army," he growled. "Let them rend you." Ghost Rider shifted into his penance stare, but the wraiths were melded to the blood, resistant to his typical powers. He dodged, rolled, countered with fiery lines, but here every movement cost agony. The wraiths scraped flesh, burning bone. Red Hulk charged through the river, boots sinking, yet he pressed on. He grabbed a wraith, crushing it in his fist. The wail erupted, blood exploded outward. Ghost Rider fired a volley of chain blasts, incinerating wraiths mid-attack, but more rose. Amidst the carnage, Red Hulk lunged at Ghost Rider. The chain snapped taut, Ghost Rider braced as Red Hulk pummeled, pushing him back to the river's edge. Ghost knelt, forced to the brink. The tide surged. Ghost's flames flared to life, trying to repel both beast and blood, but the pressure was immense. Just as the river was about to overflow, threatening to pull Ghost into toxic depths, Ghost Rider unleashed a shockwave of hellfire so powerful it boiled the river's surface. The wraiths howled, disintegrated. The river receded. Red Hulk stumbled, his momentum broken. Ghost stood, breathing heavily, chains trailing. Red Hulk, chest heaving, glared. Their war had deepened. Smoke curled, embers floated, and the hollow corridors shifted around them. The echoes of battle still danced through the stone. Red Hulk and Ghost Rider now stood in a cathedral-like cavern, columns of bone rising to a vaulted ceiling. At the center, a massive spire of chains, some broken, some pulsing, descended from unseen heights. It was the chains of fate. Legend claimed these chains bound the souls of hell itself, deciding the rightful ruler. Red Hulk seized Ghost Rider, hauling him forward toward the spire. Ghost tried to resist, summoning infernal energy. The chains pulsed, reacting to their presence. Each link glowed with runic sigils, each breath of flame that Ghost exhaled made them flare. The moment Ghost Rider touched the chains, they snaked away, wrapping about him. But not to bind, rather, to test. The chains of fate judged him, probing his essence, his sins, his vengeance. Ghost Rider roared in pain as memories flooded, innocence lost, vengeance sworn, souls claimed, burdens carried. The chains glowed brighter. Red Hulk laughed, his voice echoing. "You are mine to judge," he yelled. He struck Ghost Rider, forcing them both against the spire. The spire absorbed energy from their battle, rising heat. Expanding runes. Flames roared. Ghost Rider, despite pain, stared deep into Red Hulk's eyes and screamed the judgment invocation. Chains from the spire responded, spiraling outward, binding Red Hulk too. The two were entangled in the chains of fate, forced to share torment, memories, power. The cavern vibrated. As the chains merged their essences, Red Hulk felt Ghost Rider's burden, the furious wrath, endless judgment, the screams of the damned. Ghost felt Hulk's hate, betrayal, resentment, rage unquenched. They both staggered. Then the spire cracked. It burst outward, sending shards of chain flying like whips. The cavern shook. One massive fragment shot into Red Hulk's chest, embedding in him. Blood and molten energy mixed. Ghost Rider screamed in defiance and tore another fragment toward Red Hulk's throat. The chains of fate recoiled, breaking their hold. Both combatants broke free, collapsing to the cavern floor, panting, wounds smoking. The spire collapsed behind them in a cascade of chain steel and embers. Dust rained, echoes faded. They rose slowly. Ghost Rider's voice, low and firm, "Fate does not belong to you." Red Hulk ground his teeth, fury rekindled. The final judgment loomed. As the chain spire lay in ruins, molten rivers reasserted themselves, walls glowed, heat surged. The ground trembled. This was the final threshold, the inner sanctum, darkest heart of the infernal realm. Beyond this point, no mercy, no escape. Ghost Rider limped forward, chains dragging. His flames burned low, but his spirit flared. Red Hulk advanced with thunderous steps, every footfall resonating doom. They entered a vast amphitheater of skulls and obsidian, where tortured souls writhed behind transparent walls of flame. The audience of the damned, silent but watching. At the far end, a throne of bone and magma awaited. Its seat pulsed like a liver, throbbing with ancient power. Whoever sat there would command hell. Ghost Rider glanced at it, then at Red Hulk. His resolve hardened. Red Hulk roared, hurling himself forward. Ghost Rider met him head-on. Their collisions were now titanic, war echoes rebounding off walls. Fists pummeled, chains whipped, fire clashed with brute force. Ghost Rider managed to wrap his chain around Red Hulk's leg, yanking him down. He followed, letting hellfire surge to shatter rock beneath them. Red Hulk hammered upward, sending both crashing through the floor into an underlayer of magma tunnels. They tumbled, scraped, fought in drifts of molten rock and rivers of flame. Red Hulk buried Ghost under a boulder, but Ghost ignited from within, collapsing the rock outward. Then he rose, pale skull alight,